What's going on, bro Hans? Welcome to the very first ever, as far as I know, FPS mentorship program that is designed like a masterclass. I'm super excited to be doing this. This is my first time doing anything like this. You guys know that I rant a lot, so I'm going to try my best not to do that right now, but it's crazy that we've gotten here, that we've made it to this point as a, community, that we're able to do things like this, that this is relevant. 10-15 years ago, if you had tried to do something like this, nobody would have been into it, not even the people that wanted to grow as players, but now you've got this amazing change in the gaming, in the esports world, where we can actually do something like this, and people are going to be on board, gamers are going to be on board, the guardians are going to be on board, and parents, or if you're old enough beyond that, you are going to be on board to be doing things like this to improve yourself so that you can live out your dreams or just become the next hub stomping monster. So this is week one. Week one is focusing on aim, which is hitting your targets, muscle memory and conditioning, what that means for you, daily training, which you're going to be doing for the entire month and hopefully afterwards, after this 5-week program. And we're going to talk about why it is you can't hit your shots. So first things first, I've noticed that a lot of my streamer friends are competitive gamers, and they change their posture a lot. So they'll be like sitting like this, right, some days, and then they'll be like this some days, and then they'll be like this some days, and they're just like really just in there, you know what I'm talking, like just playing like this. And the worst part is some of them play like this and they're getting like every shot possible, and I can't understand that. But the first step to becoming a great player is to have the same posture every time you play. So the same posture, and it doesn't have to be sitting up straight. A lot of people will suggest always sit up straight. I've seen pros literally playing like this. They're lean back, their lower back isn't even touching the chair, and they're just rocking it like this, and they're getting every single shot. All right, me personally, I like to sit up like this. I like to be pretty set up, and I actually have an ottoman underneath my desk. Put up my feet, and I'm good to go. So posture is very important, okay? The reason why it's very important is because of what we're about to talk about next, which is your muscle memory. So when you have good posture, right, and you choose the posture that's best for you, the position that you like the most, the next thing that you have to work on is muscle memory, okay? Your brain tells your arm or your wrist or your thumb, for those of you that are console players, to move, and you move. That's reaction time, and we'll talk about that next week. But your muscles can learn a distance, okay? Your muscles can understand a distance. This is very important in gaming. It's very important in other aspects of the world, but it's very, very important in gaming, because when your brain is trying to send a signal to your body to react to something, your muscles can have a memory that it knows exactly how far it needs to move, in this case, your mouse, to be on target or close to on target. And the more that you condition that, the better aiming you get. That's why you see these pros making all these crazy plays, because they've worked up their muscle memory in addition to their reaction time so much that they're at a level that we can only dream of. But dreaming is believing. And if you work just as hard, you can be just as good. Okay? Shroud was not made, he was built. All right? Summit was not made, he was born. We'll use born because made and built kind of mean, yeah. They were not born that way. They were built. They were designed. They conditioned themselves to be that amazing player, okay? So when you're watching Summit make all these insane plays, all right, and hitting every single shot and doing everything that they need to win, and when you see Shroud solo clutching 3, 4, 5 people, and he's the only one alive on his team, and you're wondering how are they that good, it's because they've conditioned themselves, and they started in a good place. They started with a good posture, they worked their muscle memory, and they made the most of it. And you can too. Now, it might not take you as long as it took Shroud to be that good. It might take you even longer. All right, you got to understand that these pros are playing the same games every day, so every day that they're playing is a day that we have to make up to. in order to be at that level. So talking about muscle memory, you can get muscle memory in your forearm. You can get muscle memory everywhere, but for us specifically, we want the forearm, we want the wrist, and for our console players, we want, more importantly, the thumb. The thumb and your trigger fingers, but the thumb mainly, because the thumb is where you move, right? Your trigger finger is just your reaction time to pull the trigger. Your thumb is your muscle memory. So I have chosen a very cool program that is free on Steam called AimLab. AimLab is a really cool program that allows you to condition your brain and your muscles in your arm to get better and better over time. So we are going to be using this in this class as a daily routine, you know, a daily aim setup for you to condition yourself and condition your muscles to be better. Now, I will warn you, because I've been using it for the last couple of weeks to make sure that it is the right program for us, and I believe that it is. Your arm will get tired. Your fingers will get tired. Your wrist will get tired. This is why I have made a 15-minute program for you guys to use with this, to keep yourself from overexerting and fatiguing. Now, if you get to a point where even the rest time isn't enough for you, you need to stop and come back a little later. Once you start over fatiguing, your body is no longer worrying about patterns, right? It's worrying about repairing. So once you get to a pretty decent fatigue point where it's just, you can barely make it through a full minute session, because these are each 1 minute sessions, you need to stop and just come back. All right. But in AimLab, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff. And today we're going to focus specifically in the first category, which is flicking. We are going to work in the spider shot. All right. And that's going to be a 1 minute long workout for your muscles, and then a 2 minute rest. And then you're going to go into micro shot, which is going to help your aim further away. All right. Spider shot is basically helping you hit targets that are, some are close, some are far away, some are left, some are right, some are top. So it helps you with that reaction time, which we'll talk about more in week 2, but helps you with the reaction time, but it also helps you to get on target. So you'll do the spider shot, and then the micro shot is far away shots. So they're all really tiny. You wanna work with that too, because that would be a distance thing. You know, the further away they are, the more accurate you have to be. Next would be motion shot. These are where the orbs will move while you're shooting at them. This is really good for when you're trying to track and you know, set up your aim that way. Not everybody's standing still, so you have to be able to compensate for their movement versus your muscle memory movement. Grid shot, which essentially every time you shoot one orb, another one appears, and you just have to hit as many as you can within the minute. That's another good one, because while you're shooting at somebody, their teammate might pop out, and you need to be ready for that as well. And sniper shot, which is self-explanatory. You're going to be hitting targets far, far away using a sniper rifle. We're going to use this daily routine. You're going to do each one of those. It's a 1 minute session, and then you're going to have a 2 minute rest. That'll be 15 minutes in total. You're going to be doing this for a while. I would say do 1 session a day minimum, 2 is preferred, and you're going to do it for a minimum of the rest of the program. All right. We will be breaking things up in week 2 a little bit, because there is some reaction time ones that I want you to go through, but you'll see there's a whole bunch in there. There's prediction, which we will talk about. That's part of reaction time. There is cognitive, there is precision, there is speed, and you can go through these at your leisure. But the ones that I broke down are very specific to muscle memory conditioning. Those are the ones that I think would help you the best, because they are the bare bones. They are without any other factors being put into them. Those are the ones that will probably help you get a baseline for your aim the easiest. Now, while we're on these kinds of subjects, we need to talk about your sensitivity. Okay, sensitivity is the next thing that we need to talk about, and essentially, what I do for my sensitivity to set myself up in every game to transfer from game to game to game to game with relative accuracy is I made a measuring rule. Okay, so my measuring rule is I need to be able to turn my mouse from left to the right side and within 6 inches, by the time I hit 6 inches, roughly, you know, 6.5, I need to have 180'd. That's how I've decided that my aim is perfect, is within that 6-inch 180 rule. You might like 4 inches, you might like 8 inches as a 180 rule, but you should always be looking at this measuring rule as a way to transfer your sensitivity. So once you feel really good in a game and you feel like you're hitting all of your shots and you're really not missing too much, you've got like 70 plus accuracy all the time and you really feel confident, that's when you need to decide that that sensitivity is your spot. That is what you need to use, and you just take a look at your mouse and go from left to right, and however long it took you to get to 180, measure that out, and then you can use that rule. Just keep it in your head. You can use that rule from then on to transfer from game to game, and you will still have the same accuracy that you had in your original game that helped you with that. So that's how I set up my sensitivity, and that's how you should set up your sensitivity. As far as DPI goes, I know that a lot of people talk about DPI and aim. I use 800. I know people that use 400. Use whatever feels best for you. There is no right answer. I know CSGO pros that use 400 and some that use 1600. Just understand that the higher you go with that, the more you need to adjust your sensitivity, because at 400, my 1.5 sensitivity in Apex is going to push me much further, and I'll probably end up doing a 360 versus my 800. So that's you really want to look at dots per inch DPI as just a relative term. Wherever you want to put that, it really, to me, it doesn't matter. I know to a lot of people it matters. 800 is a very good starting point with that, and just understand that the more dots per inch, the more precise you can be, but the higher you'll have to raise your sensitivity in the game to compensate and hit your 180 rule. So that's everything that we needed to talk about with the aim. That's, you know, once you go through your daily training and your conditioning, and you go through your transferring of sensitivity from game to game, and you've been doing this routine for a month, I promise you will see results. I mean, I've already seen results. I used it for like an hour, and I went from having 65% accuracy, which is respectable, to almost 80% accuracy. Actually, I think I hit 85% accuracy at one point. So 85% accuracy is in top percentile. That's like, I'm not missing my shots. But this is where you're going to start to build yourself from being good to great or great to amazing. Is conditioning your muscle memory and your aim to being something well above what you thought you were even capable of. Have a wonderful night, and let's get to it.